What would we expect to have if Jesus died, rose again, and then appeared to his followers and gave them the Great Commission to spread the gospel?
And he wanted the world to know, and he wanted the world to believe. He desires that none should perish. Then ask the question, Trent, what do you expect to have? That changes everything. I would expect Jesus to have gone to China. I would have expected Jesus to visit the Aztecs in South America. I would have expected Jesus to make even a trip to Siberia and talk to the people there. I would expect Jesus to have preserved the initial writings. I would have expected Jesus to write himself. I would expect these writings to be preserved in every continent before there were ships to transport them there. I mean, I would even expect Jesus to put a preserved copy of the Gospels on the moon. So and know where beforehand, because Jesus is all-knowing, except for when he's going to return, to put it where the Americans would land the lunar module, and they take their first step on the moon. And so, what's this thing lying here? Whoa! Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John on the moon? You gotta be kidding me.
Well, what we would have is what we exactly find. We have written documents attesting to this. We have the spread of early churches with the oral proclamation of this good news, with it being passed on in things like sacred tradition. We have people being willing to suffer for this belief, a radical change in people's behaviors and worldviews. We have what we would expect to have if Jesus rose from the dead and commissioned his disciples to spread that good news.
Okay. I like Trent's answer. Trent just gave a nice outline of what we would expect to have if Jesus rose from the dead. Now, here's my question to Trent. Would you expect to have that if he didn't? But people wanted you to believe he did. That is the question. In other words, my question is, would you expect people to write stories that might not be true? We have many examples in history of people writing untrue stories. That maybe some things are true in the story, but the story, the root of it is not true. Like the Quran, like the Book of Mormon. 2 examples. So if you expect to have the New Testament exactly the way you see it today, and Jesus did not rise from the dead, I mean, now you got a problem. Some smart people told me this is Bayesian type thinking, and maybe that just leads to going to hell. I don't know. Now, my guess is many Christians do not have that expectation, but I do. And this is the difference. This is maybe partly why I'm not a believer. Because I expect the New Testament to be written exactly the way it was, even if Jesus didn't rise from the dead. If you're a Christian listening, digest that for like a week. Really think about that. Think about other religions. If Muhammad never really met God in a cave and got the very words of the Quran dictated to him through an angel, Gabriel, if that didn't happen, could the Quran still exist? Of course. If Jesus never rose from the dead, could the gospel still exist? Of course.